Hello everybody, it's Becca here, and today I'm coming with all the intermittent fasting things. All the things. By now you probably know that intermittent fasting is a pretty popular health trend for weight loss. It is also used for gut health and chronic disease, autoimmune issues. It's been around a very long time. Hunters and gatherers very much were intermittent fasters just based on their lifestyle that kind of really dictated that they didn't graze all day long. And spiritual and religious practices have included various forms of fasting for as long as time. So it's been around a long time. And so there have been a lot of things that have been learned about intermittent fasting. Some of the changes that occur in your body at a cellular level include things like insulin sensitivity improving, human growth hormone being produced, cellular repair occurring, autophagy is what it's called, and there is gene expression, and that is when there's changes related to longevity and protection against disease. Because you are literally changing at a cellular level. So there's lots of benefits to intermittent fasting. The first one is the one that we all know, it's the weight loss one. The insulin resistance being reduced, it can lower your blood sugar 3 to 6%, and fasting insulin levels can be lowered by 20 to 31%, which is huge for type 2 diabetics, for pre-diabetics, people at risk of type 2 diabetes. The big disclaimer on that one is it is possible that the insulin sensitivity is improved only in males. Some females have shown worse blood sugar control. There was a rat study in the female rats where emaciated, infertile, and missed their cycles. And there are some anecdotal reports of women, human women, who skipped periods when they were intermittent fasting and they came back when they started eating all day long again. So as always, you should consult a doctor, right? But if you are a female who's pregnant, thinking about becoming pregnant, breastfeeding, you have a history of missed periods, amenorrhea, you should definitely talk to your doctor before you consider an intermittent fasting program. And everybody should always watch their body when you change your eating lifestyle to see how you respond to it. But some women may need to keep an extra eye out because there are some people that it just doesn't work as well for. So we talked about the cellular repair with the autophagy. So we can decrease inflammation in our body, thus helping with chronic disease issues. And that's huge with anyone with any kind of autoimmune. It's where your body is kind of attacking itself, and there is always some level of inflammation involved, even if it is at a microscopic level where you don't see it when you look at somebody. And when we can get rid of that inflammation and the body can stop fighting itself, that's when we really start to see some true progress and relief from some of the symptoms of autoimmune. So I already said that blood sugar and insulin resistance improves and inflammatory markers can improve, but intermittent fasting can also decrease your LDL, which everyone knows is the bad cholesterol, as well as your triglycerides. And so decreasing any of those can help decrease the risk of heart attack, stroke, or just heart disease in general. So there's heart health benefits to intermittent fasting. In some animal studies, it has been shown that intermittent fasting can prevent cancer. There are not a ton of human studies. It really is mostly animal studies. So your brain produces BDNF, and so when we intermittent fast, we produce more of it, and it also helps aid in the growth of new nerve cells, and those can help us to protect against Alzheimer's. So again, it's kind of like they look at people who have Alzheimer's and people who don't in a study questionnaire form, so that it's not scientific conclusion that one leads to the other. I first learned about intermittent fasting through the anti-aging community, and they have done some rat studies, and the rats live 36 to 83% longer. And so it just gives us a longer life to intermittent fast. So those are some changes and some benefits that we can see when we intermittent fast. So we talked about how the 16-8 fast is the most popular and where we can start to see changes. That's like where you fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours of the day. So if you're eating your first meal of the day at 10 a.m. and you stop fasting at 6 p.m., that would be an 8-hour eating window. Some people tend to then like skip breakfast. Other people will start eating at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then they will finish eating at 3 p.m. And then they're essentially skipping dinner. When you first start intermittent fasting, it's all about the intentionality of it. And I always encourage people to start with a 12-hour fast and just be intentional. I eat dinner at 6 p.m., so I will not eat from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. It's not really that hard. It takes away that middle of the night snacking as you're sitting on the couch watching TV is really what that does. The next step up from there is a circadian rhythm. It's called the time restricted fast, and you literally fast from sundown to sunup. So, December 20th, we would have spent like 14 hours fasting because it was dark all day. But typically, like right now, it's a 13-hour fast, an 11-hour eating window, because the sun is up for 11 hours of the day. Once you hit that 16-hour window, that's the magical period where we start to enter all the benefits to help lead to weight loss and people converting fat to muscle mass. So that is why it's kind of like the most basic level. The 18-hour fast is more common and popular with people with autoimmune, because that is when the autophagy starts, and that's when we start repairing at a cellular level. That's when our gut really has a chance to heal itself. I did not start with 18-hour fast. I started with 12-hour fast and worked my way up, and just the way life is these days, some days I only fast for 16 hours. Other days I fast for 22. It just depends on how my day plays out. Another common fast is where people fast for a whole 24 hours, and it is really only recommended to do once or twice a week. There is you're gonna hear. So I'll skip ahead to that one. So the eat, stop, eat is where you fast from dinner to dinner, and they recommend you do it once or twice a week. So it's across the board, it's not super suggested to eat one time a day too frequently. There's gonna be one difference in that. There's a 5 and 2 method, and that's when you consume 500 to 600 calories on 2 non-consecutive days. So 5 days of the week you eat totally normal, and then 2 days you're super calorie restricted. You're not gonna be super calorie restricted on a day that you exercise extensively, really exercise at all, more than like a walk. Your body just wouldn't have the energy for that. The 18 though, with the autoimmune and the autophagy. So when we fast for 18 hours, our body starts to rid the liver of more glycogen, and we start to use ketones as fuel. And that is all because of the autophagy that our body starts to enter. There are people that fast even longer. There's the 20 and 4, which is a 1 meal a day where you train your body to become more fat adapted, and you use glycogen, fat, and glucose as your fat stores. And again, that's like a 4-hour eating window, but they do call it they refer to it as a 1 meal a day, but it's not just that dinner to dinner fast, which is only recommended once or twice a week. And then some people do the monk fast, which is a 36-hour fast, and that's cellular cleansing, and it can really help reset your metabolism, help you like get things on the right track. A lot of this comes down to mindset. You guys all know I'm a huge Dave Asprey fan, even though I don't buy into all of his stuff. And he fasted. He did a water fast in a cave for 4 days, all by himself. And there is this mindset belief that if we went 4 days with nothing but water, we would die. And the truth is that we wouldn't. And that's part of why I recommend that you start with a 12-hour fast, because it develops that whole mindset that, yeah, I can do this. I'm sleeping the majority of the time or in bed the majority of the time. It's totally fine. You do need to look at what kind of exercise you're doing and how that plays into your workout. It is not going to be the most effective HIIT workout if you haven't eaten. Cardio has been proven to be just fine on a fasted stomach, and that's really where a lot of it started for me. With all my gut issues, I was running on a fasted stomach, and the later I ran, the later I waited till I ate, and I was okay. I'm still eating 3 to 4 times in a day. It's just a shorter window, so it's a full calorie a day. I'm not eating 1,000 calories. I'm eating a normal amount of calories, and that is, I think, all that I have to share. It's all my notes. I'd love to hear if you have more questions. Zero. The app I use is Zero, and it tracks how long I've been eating, and it tracks how long I've been fasting. I recently hit 250 fasts, which is a nice milestone marker for me. It seems like a nice big number. It's not quite a year. And I did start fasting last January. So that tells you that there are days that I didn't fast or days that I just didn't hit the timer, and you can go back and edit it. And sometimes I just didn't. I just let it be. Because if I'm not being as conscientious of it, I just didn't want to reflect, yeah, I'm fasting when I'm not really. So I'm consciously trying to fast. I've been keeping that timer, and it's 250 days, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I'm here if you have any other questions. If you have any comments or thoughts for how it's worked for yourself, I'd love to hear. I think a lot of you know I had like 20 pounds I wanted to lose, and I lost 10 of it, and that was it. But I'm on meds that don't make it so easy to lose weight, and my inflammation is not totally in control, so there are other things at play. But yeah, that's what I have for intermittent fasting. I'd love to hear what else you wanted to hear.